Right, I'm live. Just a minute late because for some reason my internet connection was doing some weird things. Never mind. So, hello everybody if you're watching live. If you're not and you're watching on the replay, hello on the replay. Although I'm not quite sure what's going on with my internet connection. It's something not right. But I'm sure it'll be fine. Right. I don't think there's anyone in here with me at the moment. Oh, there's two people watching. Okay, good. I'm getting there. Right. So I thought what I'd do is I'd start this week by inking up my marketing imagery and the cover for Only Death Can Save Us. This is the key. That's her transformed name. And obviously I did the cover earlier on this week, and I'm inking up on some board the other four characters, which will be the pillars of creation, or the warriors of light, and that will be D, conquest, D as in death, conquest, war, and famine. I've put some pencils up on them of those images online and shown some of the inks as well. And I'm going to turn BB down a little bit. Oh, hi Ronnie, thanks for showing up. So the marketing art being a couple of pin-ups. Well, they're all pin-ups, but the four that I'm doing manually are going to be part of the tier, one of the tiers, pillars of creation on the Indiegogo when it does go live. But also they'll be put on postcards, I think, as stretch goals. I think that's what I'm going to do with them. But most importantly, the cover has gone off to colour, so I can start using that, and then I'll get all these coloured up as well. I think I might colour them myself. I might get another guest colourist in. The colourist for the cover is Mike Summers, who I've worked with a lot on Unstoppable Comics, and I've got high hopes for that because he's a fabulous colourist. So turn BB down a little bit more. It's a little bit loud. So this is Satana. He's the villain. He's an entity that is almost as old as existence. I'll be hinting at some of the things in the book. The story, hopefully over a 3 or 4 book run, depending on the stories I tell in the arc. It deals with existence and creation, and death's involvement in that. And death is an elemental, and the pillars of creation, the other 3 warriors of light, conquest, war, and famine, are his fellow elementals. But this guy, Satana, is one of the old ones. He's more powerful than death on his own, and was tricked by the warriors of light, the 4 elementals, under the guidance of let's call it they call it the it's the entity that effectively is the creator, but the creator is part of almost like the same stock as Satana is, so they can't go head to head, and that's why she needed them to do the work for her, and that was at the that was at the very moment of creation of our universe, at least this version of it. Much like the Matrix, there have been multiple versions, and we're in the third age. So that's just a little bit of what's going on in the backstory to the book, in the world building of it. I'm really looking forward to getting that out to people and seeing what they think of it. But I've really enjoyed writing that up. So now, which is what people will be here for today, I can get on with some inking. So okay, those I've changed the costume or the look of Satana a little bit, and I've got some more sort of samurai-esque elements going on. I wanted to give him that sort of ancient warrior feel. I'm going to have to bulk that out a little bit more. As I wanted to give to all of them this sort of, can't get that line, pantheon of the gods kind of feel. Even though they're not gods per se. It's D himself. D is the nickname that Christie gives Death, and Death actually isn't his name. His name is Death, Deff. That's part of the lore that I've created. He is an elemental being, as I suggested, and over time, through different races, alien races, human races, different portions of our history, those that we know about, those that we don't, he's become known because some people have seen him and come back. Some aliens have seen him and come back. And so his imagery, the fact that he's got the skull, is purely coincidental. It's not a human skull. It's just the way he's built. He's a kind of a biomechanical organism. The idea being, although I've talked about like the creation of the universe and godlike beings, it's I don't know if it was Asimov or the British writer that wrote 2001, crap with names as usual, who said that any sufficiently advanced technology would look like magic. And that's effectively, when I talk about him being an elemental, it's kind of like a forging of magic, of the paranormal, and of technology, because the entity that created our universe, that creates reality, is basically in control of everything. But rules have to be set for the environment that we live in, and that even the environment that Death and the other entities, elementals, live in. So it's kind of like, it's kind of a bit wacky, and I'll explain more in the books as they go along. Oh, hi Marv. Don't mind me calling you Marv instead of Mario. I just like Marv. I think it's great. Not that I don't like Mario, but I'm just not very good at remembering things like that. So when I mean to say Mario, and it comes out Marv, but it's all done with love, Baby dog. So I thought I'd do a slightly later show tonight, or stream, should I say, show. Maybe get some different people in. I was just over on another stream listening to some conversation earlier, because YouTube is just so much better than television, which is just abysmal. So I don't know that I'm going to be on here for a huge amount of time. I'm certainly not going to get this finished tonight. But maybe I'll get the interesting bits done. Something going on in my courtyard. I've had hedgehogs coming in and out of the courtyard, actually. Don't know if you have hedgehogs in America, do you, Ronnie? I don't know. I think hedgehogs may be British. They're kind of like a spiny rat without a tail. They're very cute, though. But they do make, which is why they're called hedgehogs, they do make pig noises. They're quite funny, actually. Don't know if I want to shade that or not. Right, all these, all this chainmail here is not at the right angle. Not done that right at all. I think his chest needs to come out just that little bit more there. And I think the angle needs to flatten off. So I can put in. That's better. Something that I've spoken about before on different streams is that trying to, in your head, you always want to make things perfect. You always want things to be so real. And then you get to the board and you realise that's not what you want to do at all, especially with comic strip. So you kind of have to pull yourself back. So with things like chainmail, I find myself, instead of trying to kind of do real chainmail, I make like a sort of a simplified version of it, stylized version of it, so that I can get away with all kinds of cheats like this. Because at the end of the day, the people who are reading the comic, the people that are, even if they're not reading the comic, they're just, there for the art, like I am, they don't care. As long as it looks cool. As long as it looks, and it works, and it doesn't, this is, stuff that I've spoken about before on other videos about keeping the reader, in the book. So whatever you do, don't come out of style. Don't jolt the reader. So a typical and an obvious way that a lot of people, even I did it. I used to do it as well on occasion when I wasn't confident of my own work, when I wasn't confident enough, which we all suffer from. But you kind of have to push through. And I would use. I would be too strongly connected to a photographic reference or something like that. Instead of just using it as a reference, sometimes, you might have traced it, or you might have just tried to copy it just too close. And of course that didn't work. If, a lot of people will trace stuff into their book, and then when it gets to a point where they haven't got an image that they can trace to make something work, it stands out like a sore thumb. And then you can see where they've traced people and where they've drawn their own people. You're better off, having a style and even a strange approach to drawing people, because they all look the same. And then it doesn't matter whether they're perfect or not, as long as it's attractive and it's fun and it's engaging to the reader. Then you've got people that are working in your style, and it doesn't make the reader bolt. So you've drawn a character and you've traced that character, and you've used, say, a girl's face in a few positions, and then you can't find the position you want. You go, I'll draw it myself, but it never works like that. It doesn't look photographic. It will look like you've drawn it, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But of course, it will make the reader jump out of the process, and you don't want that. So you've got to be confident about your abilities. Practice, and focus. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with using photographic reference. Of course, I use it. Lots of artists use it, and there's nothing wrong with tracing either. But I think comics themselves require you to understand the structure of what you're drawing, and tracing just won't give you that. Not tracing exclusively, anyway. Like I say, there's lots of ways to skin a cat. Hopefully I haven't upset anyone with that expression. Oh no, I'm sorry, I forgot. I don't give a shit. Done that line wrong there. See this, looking at this guy's armor here on his wrist, it's like, that wouldn't bloody work, but it doesn't matter because it's a comic. It's fun, and as long as you draw it the same every time, it doesn't matter. Oh, Hex Allen, is that it? Hex Allen. Nice of you to drop in. Thank you very much. No, Marv. It's things take time. Unfortunately, what we do is what's most important is the work. I've met several people of note, several comic book artists. A lot of artists, and I'm kind of in this camp, will say done is better than perfect, out the door. But that's very much a mentality of page rates. It's very much a mentality of, this is my job. It's a thing I have to get done on time, and it also comes, I think, from another age. Comics aren't like that anymore. You hear people burning out because they can't deal with it and that kind of stuff, from the bigger publishers. Give me the book. I won't burn out. But it all that happens and what have you. And back in the day when comics were pulp, people just got on, like John Buscema or Jack Kirby or Ditko or whoever it might be. They just churn pages out. And so it was that mentality of done rather than perfect. But I spoke to John Higgins about this, and his view was, no, this is your art, like make it count, be the best you can be, and if it takes you a bit longer, then it takes you a bit longer. So the idea of how long something takes you is split amongst those artists that are purely, effectively commercial artists. You're getting it done. I'm a comic book artist. I need the page out the door. That's the end of it. And those that focus on it being their best work, and then judge that by it being their best work, they will get more work. So it's just a different approach. But I think if you're doing the book for yourself and you haven't got a publisher on your back, then you just take the time you need. As long as you're disciplined enough to get the book out the door at the end of the day, then it just comes down to your own disciplines. Did I see a question there? Oh, thanks, mate. Thank you, Hex. That's a real compliment. Dave Gibbons is awesome. And no, it wasn't Lady Alchemy. It was the Key, who is one of the characters from Only Death Can Save Us. She turns up at the end of the book. That's all I can really say without giving it away. Yes. So once the cover's done, and this is the final piece of the pin-up art I'm doing for the moment. I'll have one more pin-up of mine, which will be all 4 of the Warriors of Light in a group shot. I've got Renzo Rodriguez doing me a pin-up, and I've got Amrit Birdie doing me a pin-up, and there's a couple of other artists I'd quite like to approach to do me a pin-up as well for the book. But this is all the stuff I'll need to do for the marketing work once this is done, and the cover is coloured, like I say, by the wonderful Mike Summers, and then I can put up the holding page on Indiegogo and get on with some page art. Looking to have the page art, the pencils for the page art finished within 4 weeks from now, and then the inks maybe another 4 to 6 weeks after that, because it is 60 pages, so I'm going to need a little bit of time. So that would take me to the end of August, and I think that's when I'll probably start the full-on campaign at the end of August, start of September for the Indiegogo. And yeah, that'll be that. And then I will be at the mercy of anyone I can convince to buy my book. So I've just lost myself in concentration again there, sorry. But it's Hex for you being this your first time watching me draw. I'm not very good at doing 2 things at once. So sometimes I'll just shut up, which is why I've got BB Black Dog up in the background. I know the guys, so there's no chance of anyone copyright striking me. Yeah, I'll do. And so if you come back, which would be lovely if you did, because I'll be doing lots of these, documenting the progress of the book, you'll see that I constantly run out of things to say and constantly get names wrong because I'm a stupid old boomer. I'm Gen X, but damn it, I can give myself. I'm only just Gen X. Nope. Don't you just love Control Z? History. So I'm doing some of those. I'm doing those 4 postcard pinups in traditional inks. I will be printing out the pencils and some baseline, but I'll be going at it with a brush and some whiteout. So I'm getting really nervous about that. Can't use history in that, or Control Z in that. But they will be nice pieces of artwork if people want them for the tiers. So that will be cool. I've actually got a couple of commissions to do this week. So I'll have to. Was it Thursday tomorrow? I might do another live stream tomorrow actually, and then I'm going to be off in commission land on Friday. I'm just doing the sketches, and then once they're confirmed, I'll work them up. Maybe I'll do a speed draw video on that, like speeded up video, and drop that on the YouTube channel. How's that look? That's nice. Do. So I was watching Pete Pomiotti. His artwork was looking lovely the other day. He started up the Comic Creator YouTube channel again. He said I should come over and see him for that, which would be cool. Right. I should have really done this beforehand. See how this works out. what I might do is just simply drop some white on the top of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, doesn't need to be any more than that. Don't know if that's going to work or not. Can't really see it. Knock back from there. It's just a hint. Get into the to his robe. Chat amongst yourselves. Okay. That's not the most interesting stream today. Sorry. I suppose I ought to have more to talk about. But all the interesting stuff was at the start when I was talking about the world building. But, I have to come on with maybe a concept to each live stream of parts of the book and elements of it, because I went and did quite a bit of research on Sumerian names, tablets, that kind of thing, to sort of add in to the mythos that's going into the book, right the way down to circumstantial elements having names. So the doctor in it is Dr. Namtur, and that was an ancient Sumerian god. I used Mercury as well. I was pointing to the gods with Mercury. That was where they found an element in the book. Just little bits and pieces. Okay. Looking good. I'm at an hour now. Captain, you're in. Thanks for turning up. The Exiest generation, you're damn straight. Right, so what I'll do is I'll just I'll have a goal to finish up tonight. So I think what I'll do is I'll just zoom in a little bit closer, as I do for faces, and just do this face Leave it there. Just make sure he's got a bit of a squint on because he's screaming at something. Those big, nasty eyebrows. Ooh. Can you guess what it is yet? It's for any Gen Xers out there. Know what I'm talking about. Okay. Originally had a ring through his nose, but it just didn't work. Gone back and done a few redesigns. I was mentioning earlier that I to help with the whole Pantheon of the gods feel. I wait for that to self-save. Pantheon of the gods feel. I added in some extra bits and pieces, and on in the costumes, and on Satana here, I added in some samurai elements. So he's got like baggy trousers and some sandals on, like those block sandals, and knee pads, the metal knee pads, and shin guards that the samurai used to have, or that look a bit like it anyway, because I wanted to do something a little different on him from what I had, and something else. Well, I'll show you something else in a minute from the page as well, because I wanted to have. I've already done pencils. I've done about 25 pages of pencils, and I was going through and drawing the imps as I designed them, but they weren't working. So I went back and redesigned the imps, which are the imps that you see on the cover. But obviously I've had to go back and put those into the pages. So first thing I do before I get going on any more pages is amending the imps that I've drawn so far. But it was important to go back and do that, because they weren't emoting properly. They had quite a nice design. I thought they were pretty cool design, all teeth and jaded skin, but they just didn't emote very well, and I needed them to do a little bit of that, a little bit of humour, and also for a couple of particular scenes. But so I went back in and did that, and they look a bit sort of more classic troll like now, pointy ears and crap teeth. A bit like British people. That's what Americans think, isn't it? We've all got shit teeth. They've probably all been to Norfolk. I'll upset someone again now. Okay. So that's his face working nicely there. I think I'll leave that there for now. What I'll do is I'll show you those pages I was talking about. So, where are we? There's the cover. And I've just today amended which direction D's facing, because I thought it had a little bit more menace to him. And obviously I'll put it in the background as well. And then I had to quickly go in and amend page 1 so that you can see that guy's getting the spit knocked out of him by Conquest there, and put those heads back in, because they had looked like these guys, which I thought they were quite neat. I quite liked the whole look of them, but they didn't work for what the story required of them. So I simplified them a little and made them a little bit more classic looking. Probably nowhere near as original. Not that anything's original anymore, but they work better. And it also meant that I could put armor on them and head coverings and stuff as well. So and they worked really well in the cover. So so that's going to be it for tonight. There's the key, and there's Satana, and I'll be finishing him off tomorrow. And then what I will do is I'll show, once the colours turn up at the covers, I'll show that. I might do some colour process myself. I may even ask someone else to do some colour for me, actually, so that I can get on with some penciling. So I'm only looking for flat colours, so it shouldn't be too expensive, hopefully. So right, let's see what else is going on. So we're going to go, yeah. Thanks very much, Marv. Nice. Thanks very much for being here. How much time do you spend digitally inking on average a page? I think I can do. I think I can do 2 pages a day, but it depends on the detail. I mean, you know, sometimes you'll spend. I mean that cover. That cover. That's a page and a half because it's a wraparound cover, and that took me just about the day to do that. But there's a lot of detail in there. Not detail. There's not. I don't draw detailed. There's a lot of content. There's a lot of bodies. There's a lot of people or things, imps, demons, whatever. And it's quite packed as far as things are concerned. Not all your pages are going to be like that. So I'd say, you know, somewhere between 1 and 2 pages a day inked. I'll show you a couple of the pencils. Oh, there's a pencil here. So page 1, pencils on that would have been this. So those pencils were a little bit more packed, so it would have taken me a little bit longer. So I might only have got maybe 2 pages drawn out like this in a day, but I can do anywhere between sort of 2 and 4 pages a day. I open up a couple of other pages. So here you go. That's a bit more typical because there's not as much going on. There's a bit more bit less background, not as many bodies. So that would have been a typical sort of maybe, you know, 3 of these a day. So hopefully that answers your question. Should have squeezed Cyberfrog into that cover somewhere. Well, you know, I think there may be opportunities for pinups. Actually, I was The two guys I've got definitely at the moment, Renzo Rodriguez and Amrit Birdie. They haven't got their own characters per se, but I will at some point approach Rob Willis, I think, and if he wanted to do the Death with his own character, that would be awesome. But obviously, he might be too busy. So, and his artwork is just splendid, just so damn good. But we'll see. We'll see. I just think he's a fantastic artist. But both Renzo and Amrit are brilliant artists as well. So it'd be really nice to see their work in the book. So yeah, I think that's about it for me. I'll just get rid of these pages, and that's do not save that. That's the cover, and I'll leave the stream with the key up. So thanks very much, everybody, for joining me tonight. If you've come and watched and watch me draw live, thank you. That's brilliant, because I'm not the most entertaining host when I'm drawing, because my mind goes elsewhere. But thank you very much for joining. Anybody who's watched on the replay, thank you very much for watching the replay. Anybody who is already subscribed, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. It means so much when people subscribe, or when they come, listen, watch, whatever. It's hugely rewarding to have people come and take an interest in your work. You can find me in many places on the internet, but the best place to find me is russleach.com. comicbookblackbelt.com or onlydeathcansaveus.com. That is the name of the book that I'm producing at the moment, and will make up the vast majority of my live streams, so that people can see how the book is put together before hopefully they lay their money down in the Indiegogo. You can also find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just search my name, you'll find me. So that's it for now. Thank you very much for joining me, whether you're live or in the replay. And I'll be back in the dojo again with another video real soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.